This is the Seaflo 42 Series 3.0 gallons per minute water pressure pump. And today we're going to demonstrate adjusting the pressure switch and the bypass valve. The bypass valve is used to prevent cycling, but it is tuned in combination with the pressure switch. So first we want to do is get our pressure at the right pressure. It comes factory set at 55 psi, which it is now. That can be increased or decreased. So let's say that we want to decrease the pressure to about 45 psi. We would turn the pressure switch counterclockwise. If I get the pressure switch cycling like this, I use a 2mm Allen key, turn it down. Now I have the pressure at about 50 psi. Right when the pump shuts off, the pressure goes down just a little bit. That is the flexible tubing expanding just a little bit. If we want to go down to 45 psi, I'll go down even more. And it's easiest when the pump is cycling, so you get a very little trickle and make the pump cycle. There it is, right at 45 psi. So I have the pump running more of a full flow now. Turn it off, 45 psi. But you noticed it was cycling now. Because we changed the pressure switch, the bypass valve has to be adjusted. So even at this flow, it's cycling in an unacceptable manner. So what we want to do is adjust the bypass valve. So we'll turn that counterclockwise. Now here we have the pump bypassing, it's not cycling anymore. And we'll shut off the pump to see what happens. The trade-off is that if we adjust the bypass valve too much, the pump won't shut off, and I'll demonstrate that as well. Turning the pump on, full flow, let's back it off. Now we're cycling a little bit here, and we'll even adjust it a little more. Pretty good. Close the flow a little more. Very low flow and off. This is dialed in about as good as it can get. If you can eliminate the cycling at this low of a flow, you're in good shape. Because we do want the pump to shut off. Now I'm going to open the bypass valve to demonstrate what happens if you open it too much. So we'll give it another turn counterclockwise. Turning on the pump. Backing it off. Notice I turned off the pump, but it won't shut off. That's because I've opened the bypass valve too much. Now we got to close it. I gave it that turn and it turned off. Testing it from on to off, that's really where you find out. On, low flow, no cycling because we're bypassing. Off. Perfect. And now, let's find out what the cut-in pressure is when we're at 45 PSI shut-off pressure, because that's going to go down too. Looks like we're right at 28 PSI cut-in pressure if we have a 45 shut-off pressure. And now the pump is off. So we adjusted the pressure to 45 PSI, and then we adjusted the bypass valve to eliminate cycling at the 45 pressure switch setting. Let's go back to 55 on the pressure switch. What I like to do is try to make the pump cycle. Then I can see the cut in and cut off pressure right there. We're going to tighten up the pressure switch. What we have happening now is that the bypass valve is too far open, so it's not even getting up to shut off pressure. So I'll tighten that up. Maybe a little too much so we can see where the pressure is. Tightening the pressure switch again. I'm hitting 50 PSI, it looks like. Now it looks like I'm hitting 55 PSI. So let's close the faucet. There we are, 55 PSI shut off. What happens when we run low flow? Too much cycling at this flow. We should be able to eliminate that. Now we dial in the bypass valve by opening it up a little bit. There we go. Let's see if it'll shut off. Shuts off. Bypassing at this low flow. That's perfect. Shut off. Bypassing at this flow, full flow. Bypassing, shut off. That's perfect. Now that we're back up at 55 PSI, let's find out the cut-in pressure. The cut-off pressure is 55 PSI. Where does it cut in? Looks like right at 40 PSI, bouncing between 40 and 55 PSI. Cut in at 40, cut off at 55. 55 PSI.